How's you going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. I'm glad you're here today because I'm getting excited. I'm going to start putting sheathing on the front wall of the shop today. Big step, eh? Sheathing. And then once the sheathing's up, slap some paint on her, and before you know it, Bob's your uncle, we're done. Let's get at it. So I'm going to start in the far left corner over here beside the man door. I need a piece 10 inches wide by about 70 inches long. So I'm using the scraps and pieces I have left over before I cut up brand new sheet, of course, eh? So I've got a piece of aspenite here that's 11 inches wide, and I'm going to measure off here 70 inches. Mark this. So I'm going to cut this end off, then I have to put it on the saw and rip it down to 10 inches, then we can put it in that corner. But because of the way the shop has got sort of dismantled here while we were doing this wall, I've got no chop saw to cut this off with, so I'm going to have to make all these cuts with the Makita crosscut saw. But I should be able to get at my table saw in order to rip this. So I'm going to get the Makita out now and cut the end off of this. So we're going to cut this. So I've got the piece clamped on the table. I'm just going to use the square here to sort of help align myself. Now we're going to take this, I have to clean a little bit away so I can get out my table saw. Then I'm going to set it up and rip it down to 10 inches. Okay, so I have my saw set up now. I'm just going to cut this. Alright, so I've got my piece of aspenite. You can't see it, but I have a wedge on the floor here to wedge it up against this piece here. Once I get it in place. Something like that. So now I just put a bunch of screws in this. Okay, this corner's done. Ha ha! It's time to cut. I've got this, I only have 3 sheets of this aspenite to do the front wall. And like I was saying earlier, it's like a jigsaw puzzle to get all these pieces cut to fit around the windows and the doors and whatnot. So I want to take special care to make sure I don't mess up on the cuts, because I don't have any material spare, basically is what I'm saying. So I did a lot of calculating, a lot of sketching and drawings and whatnot to try to figure out maybe the best way to cut the pieces. And I've come up with this idea. So the first one I need to cut is 26 3/8 of an inch. So 26 3/8. And I'm going to cut this with my Makita saw. And Makita saw from the edge of the shoe here to the inside edge of the blade is 5 1/8 inches. So that means when I put my square on here, my straight edge, 26 3/8, and then 5 1/8 is going to be 31 1/2. If I put my straight edge at 31 1/2, when I make my cut, I should cut it off at 26 3/8. And then once I cut this piece, then I have to cut a hole here for the light switch. So now I'll put my straight edge on here. Now I also have a little block under here somewhere. This is supposed to be 26 3/8, and it is. How about that? Okay, let's go then. So there's my piece cut. Now I'm going to take this over on the bench and set up to cut out for the outlet hole. Alright, so this piece we just cut is going to go on the wall just behind the camera there, and there's a light switch goes right down here in the corner. And I'm measuring everything from the tops of the sheets because I don't want the sheeting to go right down onto the floor. It's going to stop a couple inches above the floor. So, put our square on here. And what I have is, I made this a long time ago. It's a cardboard cutout, the size of a duplex outlet. So we just set that right in place there. Okay, so now I have my jigsaw here. We'll just cut this out. Okay, off camera I made a test fit for this piece because I wanted to make it go right first try, right? Well, it didn't. The top of this outlet right here is just 48 inches down from the top, so I had to cut a little notch for the screw place here where the outlet screws into the box. This one here was okay. I had made allowances for that, but I had to pull both of them down away from the box so I get the sheet in. But anyway, it should go now. And I started a couple of screws just so that I'd be ready. So let's see how we make out. Yeah. Doesn't look too bad right there. I'm going to put this screw in just to hold it. And then this screw. Okay, I'm going to put some more screws in that and then we'll get ready to measure up for another piece. I'm getting pretty high tech here. I bought myself a laser level. I was going to do a review on it, but I really don't know how to use it yet. When I figure it out, I'll let you know. But anyway, I just want to see if this is level. So I got my laser level set up here. You can see there's two green lines there. I hope you can see them. So this line here, it measures 1 1/8 down from there. This one, 1 1/8. Not much wrong with that, is there? So the next piece I need to cut is 22 3/8. So I set everything up here to cut that. So let's have a go with that. So I need to cut this hole here for welding outlet I have on the wall there. So we're going to cut that right now. Do a plunge cut to start with. Now, once again, I'm going to have to cut a little notch, I think, down here to fit over the outlet that's over on the other side of the window too, so I just want to verify that measurement. Okay, this is not the first try, eh? I had to make some adjustments on this cutout down here, just for clarification's sakes. There. Fits now. I'm pleased with the way those are going up. Got another full sheet here that we're going to start to cut to fit in under the window. There's a lot of cutting. I've got 2 outlets on it, plus I have to cut out for under the window. So I'm going to do a lot of measuring. So I'll measure this all up, mark it out, and then we'll come back and show you before I start to cut it. All right, we're going to start right here. Okay, now we're going to cut this one. And then we're going to cut this one. And then this one. And then we're going to cut this out. I'm going to use the skill saw for this, for the mosquito saw, I mean. Okay, now we're going to lift this, put it over by the window, and hopefully it fits, because if not, I wasted a whole sheet of aspenite. So I have my sheet over here, and I just laid it against the wall just to see if the cuts were going to fit, and it looks like everything is lining up pretty good here. I've got a couple of blocks of wood on the floor, because of course this sheet's not going to go right to the floor. So let's set it on those, and I've got some wedges on top of those blocks. What I'm trying to do here is put the wedges together to raise this piece up. This is still not as high as I want it over here, eh? So I'm trying to make myself a little bit of a lever. I think that looks pretty good there. So I'm going to finish screwing this then to the wall, and we'll go from there. So I found that sheet there, putting that up was pretty tricky for me, but it went in pretty good, I have to say. I'm pleased with it. So the rest of them just a little bit over the door and above the window, and then above the garage door, and then just have to fit some pieces in this far corner here on the right. So I'm just going to do that. When we're finished up, I'll bring you back and give you a look. Well, it was a struggle, but I got her. All the pieces are put in here now. This is the right hand corner beside the garage door. Got it all sheathed above the garage door. And then all the way around the window. And all over by the main door. So that's a big step, eh? It's all insulated, vapor barrier, and sheathed. Guess what? Time to paint. I think you all know that painting's not my favorite thing to do, but like I was saying earlier, I'm kind of excited about finally getting the shop totally insulated, and painting is not going to be so bad this time. But I don't think I'm going to be singing while I'm painting. Might whistle a little bit. Anyway, I got my paint stirred up here, and I'm going to use this brush that I had out, I don't know, a long time ago. It's still more or less flexible, but I'm going to use it as long as I can, and we'll see how we make out. So it's going to take probably 3 coats to do this, and we're just going to start painting. What else can you do, right? Slap it on, whistle while you work. Painting, eh? I think you know what this is all about. So when I get a little bit more done, I'll come back and we'll have a look and see what it's looking like. Well, folks, don't know what to say to you, but she's all insulated, vapor barriered, sheathed, and the first coat of paint is on it. I've got the wall all painted with 2 coats. I only put 2 coats of paint on it. Seems to be covering pretty good. So the wall is all painted now. I took out the furring strips I had around the window here because I'm going to change those. I had to make them a little deeper because before the sheathing I had on here was only 3/8, now it's 1/2 inch, so these have to be a little deeper to make them come flush with that. So I have an idea of how I'm going to do that with some scraps, of course. So I'll be cutting those up and putting those in, and then putting some trim around the window. I need to put trim around the door, and I need to paint the trim that's already around the garage door. But other than that, I think we can stick a fork in this one. Some nice boys to finally get the shop totally insulated and painted. Now I just have some work, like I was saying, to do here. I also need to put some baseboard down, but you know, I think that's a minor little job compared to finishing the insulation. The shop's totally insulated, totally vapor barriered, totally sheathed, totally painted. I love it. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget, thumbs up me, and if you like this shop, subscribe to the channel. Thanks a million, folks. I hope you're having a great week wherever you are, and we'll talk to you soon.